The Registrar of Societies have been in contravention of the Constitution, and the right to fair administrative action is an inalienable right, which everyone has a right to. And the government clearly has been trying to frustrate Pastor Ezekiel on various occasions. And today we've written a letter to the AG seeking to have these actions overturned, and we're hoping for the best outcome.
In furtherance to what my colleagues have said, I'm going to give a brief overview of what the law provides concerning the issues of discontinuation or deregistration of societies, and the same is provided under section 12 about the discontinuation, section 12 of the Societies Act, and the same provides that indeed the Registrar of Societies has the powers to deregister any society if it's of the view that they no longer meet the purpose and their objects that were initially registered before the registrar. And when a person is dissatisfied with this deregistration, they have their right to appeal to the minister at the time responsible for societies. And through this, we've been able to file an appeal. We've already lodged it before the AG's office, and we are hopeful that justice will be served at the end of the day, because our client has been denied his rights to fair administrative action, which is rightly stipulated under Article 47 of the Constitution, that he has to be heard before any action is taken against him. And we are going to take further, we are deliberating on the best course of action, even as we've launched the appeal before the registrar.
To bring to context what has happened today, Pastor Ezekiel, towards around April of this year, was arrested on allegation that he had transported over 115 dead bodies from his Mavueni New Life Church Center to Shakahola. And he was completely linked at that time to one Pastor Mackenzie. He was arrested, arraigned before Shanzu Court, where the state wanted him detained for 30 days. The state failed to convince the court. Pastor Ezekiel was detained for 5 days. At the expiry of 5 days, Pastor Ezekiel, again the state requested the court to keep him in custody for 30 more days. We defended that action, and Pastor Ezekiel was released on a cash bail of 1.5 million shillings, and he reports to the police every Monday. We did a review that. Pastor Ezekiel nowadays reports once a month to the regional DCIO office in Mombasa. That file is coming up on the 30th of this month for closure or for Pastor Ezekiel to be charged. Second allegation was that Pastor Ezekiel was involved in selling human organs. He was involved in terrorism. He was involved in money laundering, which resulted in more than 28 bank accounts being closed. We battled that case, and the state lost badly, and all the accounts were unfrozen, and they are running without any hindrance. The third obstacle is the question of the church. The church was closed, and everybody was chased from that place. We battled that case again, and the court opened the church, and the church has been going on round. The fourth challenge was the TV station, which was closed by the communication authorities of Kenya. We battled that case, and the TV station was allowed back and proceeding. Still undeterred, the government moved further to stop Pastor Ezekiel from moving to Machakos, where he had organized for a crusade. We still moved further and challenged that, and Pastor Ezekiel was allowed to proceed with the crusades at Jacaranda in Nairobi, at Bomet in Bomet County, and in other places. Still undeterred, the government moved further to stop a crusade that Pastor Ezekiel had organized in Tanzania. The first day, the crusade proceeded on in Tanzania very well. The second day, he was told that the Kenyan government has raised issues about his association with Mackenzie. That crusade was cancelled. The last attempt is now on the registration of the church. Pastor Ezekiel's church was registered in 2012, and the returns are supposed to be annual. Pastor Ezekiel has written and will give the media and the whole country more than 20 letters demanding for the file to be available. Those letters have been received by the Registrar of Societies. No action has ever been done. Pastor Ezekiel, out of frustration, instructed us to move to the Judicial Review Division of the High Court to sue the Registrar of Societies. The Registrar of Societies, without prejudice, engaged us and said there is no need to proceed with the judicial review matter when the file is available. Come after you have withdrawn this matter, come tomorrow, you'll get the file at the registry. That file has never been found. The registrar has always been giving excuses that she's busy involved in the presidential task force on religious extremism, and that is why she's not available. Today, a Gazette notice is issued. A Gazette notice issued today, but that the cancellation was done in May. But today is when government is announcing that to the public. One, due process. Notices to close have never been served on Pastor Ezekiel's charge or his lawyers. Two, no notice to show cause has ever been issued as provided for by the laws and rules of this country, and especially the act that creates the Registrar of Societies Act. Under Section 15 of that act, the law provides that anybody aggrieved by the decision of the registrar shall make an appeal to the Attorney General. We have done an appeal to the Attorney General, and by law, that appeal serves as a stay for 90 days before the Attorney General makes a decision. So we have already filed that, we have served the country, and we have advised Pastor Ezekiel that once that appeal has been filed, the church is not closed, and we are still appealing to Kenyans and those ones who are members of the New Life Church that the church is on. It will continue proceeding because, in essence, this is now an attack on Christianity. This government has declared a total war on Christianity. Remember, the import of deregistering the church, it means that the properties of the church, which as of now are trillions of money, shall be taken. People have an appetite to take over and nationalize or take the properties of the church. This is an attempt to get the properties of the citizens. And for record purposes, none of the properties of the church is registered in Pastor Ezekiel's name. Not even a dog. All the properties plus the rats in that church are registered in New Life Prayer Center. So it is the property of more than 10 million followers of Ezekiel that the government wants to take. But we are determined We are set. I'm leaving just now here to Mombasa so that we deal with those issues, because the Friday notice is suspicious, so that action can be done over the weekend by the time the courts are resuming on Monday, when we find out that we will be told that events have already taken place. So it is a clear manifestation on the agenda of this government against religion. No other religious facility in this country. We have more than 6 mainstream religious organizations. No mosque has ever been closed. No temple for the Indians has ever been closed. No traditional religious kaya shrines has ever been closed. Why the churches? It is a war against Christianity to the exclusion of other churches. So we shall be moving very speedily as we leave here to the High Court again to get conservatory orders to stop the implementation of that Gazette notice, which is malicious, which is calculated to dispossess 10 million Kenyans and followers their properties that they have acquired. The war against the word of God has started honestly. And this is to put everybody on alert that Pastor Ezekiel might be persecuted the same way Jesus was persecuted. Pastor Ezekiel might be persecuted the same way Paul and the others, the apostles of the word, were persecuted. But Pastor Ezekiel is determined to fight on, to soldier on, to get the respect of the faith called Christianity having its status in this country. Article 32 is very, very clear on issues of religion. Government has no business interfering with the issues of religion. If government is after Pastor Mackenzie, let it be very clear that Pastor Ezekiel ODERO is not at all the same person called Pastor Mackenzie. Let them follow Mackenzie and let them keep him the way they are keeping him all this time. We have very firm instructions, and we have given those instructions, and we'll give you copies of the letters that we've done. Any questions from members of the Fourth Estate?
When is the conference?
What reasons were given for closure?
What is called Meza ya Bwana. Meza ya Bwana is where we have at least not less than 100,000 people coming to church physically, and more than 8 to 10 million following on TV. It will run for 14 days. So if we are talking about 100,000 people times 14 days, we are talking of around 2 million people heading to Mavueni for their annual pilgrimage called Christianity. This is why this thing is suspect. This is giving the country a bad image. This is destroying very many people. Remember, Pastor Ezekiel's church, only 43% are Kenyans. More than 58% of the followers of Ezekiel are foreigners. They are supposed to come. What image are we trying to tell these people? That's why I'm appealing to everybody that Pastor Ezekiel's church is open, and we will defend it and ensure that Christianity gets its status as a religion of this country.
The Registrar of Society is an office created within the Attorney General's office. What type of justice do we expect from that office when we have done more than 20 letters seeking for that file to be available? That is the reason we are saying the only custodian of rights of Ezekiel's followers, the 10 million followers, will only be in court. We don't expect any justice from that office.
church and prayer ministries. We have just been instructed, because there has been a Gazette notice that has been published today with the cancellation of registration of the church. And the cancellation is, they have dated it back in May. However, it has been gazetted today. Now, the Societies Act prescribes that in any case that you're dissatisfied with the cancellation, you write to the Assistant Secretary of the Attorney General an appeal raising grounds in which you want to show your dissatisfaction with the cancellation. Now, one of the issues that has caught our eye is that our client has been facing a lot of frustration from the registrar of societies because of the unavailability of the file. On more than one occasion, advocates and people representing our client have written to the registrar of societies requesting to be able to access that file so that they can be able to file returns. But it has been proven to be difficult, and even when we asked for a skeleton file to be made so that our client can be able to file the returns, they've made it impossible. Only for us to find out today morning that the church has been cancelled. The registration of the society has been cancelled. We are of the view that this has been done in absolute bad faith and in contravention to our client's right of fair administration of justice, which goes right to the heart of our constitution, which should protect that essentially. And this might be a political hunt, or whatever hunt it is in a bid to frustrate the Pastor EZEKIEL, from carrying out his ministries, because he has a very big conference coming up and they want to frustrate that. But we, acting very speedily, because the defense never rests, have written to the AG seeking that the same is considered, and we are expecting to hear from the AG within 90 days of the same. Thank you.